everybody. Intuition here. Thank you as always for making time and space for us. Today we're going to continue on the train of thought in which we were previously discussing the concepts of time and space and giving a foundational understanding for what it is that we're about to go into. And that is the topic of how to move faster than time can move, so that you are able to then therefore move past the illusion of time and see the space in which you are in, so that you are able to more freely navigate outside of the space in which space and time is holding you in, so that you are able to move into the next dimension or understanding of self. As we've said in your last video, the idea of you are timeless, endless beings, and that is true because you exist outside of space and time. But it is only when you can move faster than time and see the space in which you're in that you are able to join the rest of yourself outside of space and time. Because right now you are a fragmented piece of understanding of self. And the rest of you, if you would like to call it an oversoul, as that is a popular term, is existing again outside of space and time. And so, how you move quicker than time is understanding this other fundamental understanding. You are always in a moment of the past. Because you are in a human body, it is taking your mind and your body a moment to process what it is that is going around you, and then synthesize and disseminate that data into your understanding so that you are able to then therefore process what is going on in this three-dimensional space. Meaning that if you are having to wait for your sensory organs to give you the information of what it is that is happening around you, you are on a 2 or 3 millisecond delay. Which means that if you are on a 2 or 3 millisecond delay, then you are in a moment of the past. You are not experiencing what is really happening now. You are only experiencing what has just happened 2 or 3 milliseconds ago. Because again, you're waiting for that information to be processed through your sensory organs. So you are always in a moment of the past, which means that you are never really in the moment of now in which time is unfolding itself. Because again, you have a 2 to 3 millisecond delay. And that is the best case scenario, that you have a 2 or 3 second delay. That is, if you are light enough within your emotional and psychological trauma and baggage to simply just have a 2 or 3 millisecond delay. Meaning that you inherently will always have a 2 or 3 millisecond delay because, again, your sensory organs are processing and synthesizing that data to your brain, to your seat of consciousness, so that you are able to understand what is going on. However, many of us, again, are in a state of shock, a perpetual state of shock, in a perpetual state of survival instinct, that then therefore means that when you get that information, there is an immediate split between you getting that information and then you bouncing back into a memory of the past so that you can compare what it is that had happened to what is happening so that you feel a sense of safety. Which means that now you are not 2 or 3 milliseconds behind based off of your sensory organs giving that information to you. You are now close to a second, 2 seconds behind. Because you had to go back into the memory of the past to feel safe in your moment of present, to then therefore accept and acknowledge what it is that is unfolding around you in this three-dimensional reality. We will give an example of what it is that we are expressing, because that might be difficult to understand. There was a story in which was expressed that the Native American Indians, when they first saw ships, colonizers coming to their shores, these big, great, massive ships, they had never seen anything like it before. So some people were able to see those ships, but some Native American Indians were not able to synthesize or understand the information that was happening because, again, they had nothing to compare these big, great ships to within their recent memory. So they ended up not being able to actually even see the ships because it was so outside of their continuum of understanding based off of their memory of the past, that they weren't even able to accept what was that was happening in the present moment, so it completely filtered itself out. Which means that there was an even further delay in them actually really experiencing the moment of now, because again, they completely rejected what it was that was happening in the three-dimensional reality that their sensory organs were trying to provide to them. So depending on your lens, depending on your emotional state, depending on your trauma and what it is that you have or have not worked through, that might make your response time between now and the past in which we are all living in a little bit longer. But let's say the best case scenario, that you are not living in shock or a survival mode, which means that the only thing that you are having to do is be limited by the processing time of your sensory organs telling you what it is that has just happened. How you move quick as time, then therefore, would be tapping into your instincts. Your instincts, when you are not in survival mode, when you are not in your trauma or shock, are usually guided by your higher self, your angels, your spiritual guides, whomever it is that you want to give credit to. But usually your instincts are indicative of those higher beings that are connected to you, that are beyond space and time, that are actually in the moment of now, watching time unfold, in which they're able to see all the possibilities that are unfolding so that they can warn you ahead of time what it is that's happening. And when you start following those instincts that are always there, you simply have to tap into, you start getting a quicker track record in which you are able to shorten that response time from 3 milliseconds to 2 milliseconds, to 1 millisecond, to no milliseconds. But that means that you have to start following your instincts and not waiting for all of that processing time to start moving through your system, which takes, again, you away from now, which is the future. For instance, many of us have been in a scenario in which we are driving home, potentially, and we say, you know what, I'm going to take a different way home. I'm going to go left instead of right, in which I usually take the right way home. So, as you are turning left as opposed to right, you see maybe the car in front of you get into a terrible accident, or some misfortune, or there's crazy traffic, or something to the effect of, had you gone in the way that you usually go, there would have been an issue. There would have been a problem for you that would not have allowed you to experience a more cohesive, a more preferred outcome. And that is because your instincts, your higher self, is warning you ahead of time to let you know it is better to go this way. And when you start following more of that instinctual instruction, you are able to move quicker in time. And if you do that enough and make a habit of that enough, you are able to start moving ahead of time. In which, when you start moving ahead of time and you move into the moment of now, you are literally able to see how time is unfolding before it unfolds. And because you are not based in the illusion of time, you are able to see, then therefore, the space in reality, not convoluted by the illusion of a moving picture in which time is providing, and be able to see and transcend and be light enough to move through space the way time does, in a way in which you are able to find an exit point. So, just a little food for thought. This is how we understand things, not necessarily how you may understand things. However, again, we invite you to ponder this. We invite you to use this as a tool that may potentially help you to start lightening up enough so that you're able to start transcending and moving ahead of time so that you have more potentiality to break free of the constraints of what space and time is holding us all in. As always, we are full of gratitude for you making time and space for us, and we wish you well unfolding your own time and not having it be controlled by the mechanism of time. Well wishes.